Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Ali Coram along with Ken Shreve, and we've got to look at the action for the first day of December where the Nasdaq hit a new record high, Ken.
Yeah, also the S&P 500 as well, but it was a nice day for semiconductor stocks, large cap tech. So let's start by taking a look at Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM. Also want to take a look at Meta Platforms, META, back near an all-time high. And finally, in the software sector, Waystar, WAY.
Okay, well, we will take a look at those stocks, but first we want to take a look at the major indexes today with tech stocks taking the lead in today's session. Here's a look at QQQ up about 1.1% for the day. That's the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ Composite, meanwhile, up about 0.9%, almost 1% actually by the close to get to that record high territory, clearing those highs from late October, early November. And then the S&P 500 today, which has been leading it already in new high territory, another new high again today for the S&P, up about 0.25%. Same for the Russell 2000, up about 0.25% today for the small caps here, reversing slightly higher after a little bit of weakness intraday. And on the downside, we did see the Dow down about 0.2%, but it's hanging around highs here, Ken. Let's start with a look at the NASDAQ. What are your thoughts on this tech sector rotation we're seeing?
Yeah, nice start to the month of December. People back from the Thanksgiving holiday, full 5 days of trading this week. So hopefully this will be the start of something nice. You can see, the half or very light volume the prior session on Friday, but nice little volume pickup today. We move into new high ground, and yeah, definitely wanted to talk about some of these large cap tech stocks that moved well today. Breadth, we've been complaining about breadth on the Nasdaq, and once again, it was just barely positive today. So really, not that much of a difference between winners and losers on the Nasdaq. Just a barely positive. So would like to see that a little better, but we can't complain with the Nasdaq up near an all-time high here.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts on the major indexes, Ken?
Well, let's S&P 500 also hit an all-time high today. So we're in this nice strong uptrend. We've been talking on IBD Live. If you've been owning some stocks for a while and haven't taken any gains, you're still sitting in the catbird's seat here. If you've been taking some profits in recent weeks, it has been maybe a little more difficult to allocate money because so many stocks have been running higher
Right.
and are quite extended at this point. But S&P in a nice uptrend here, right along with the Nasdaq. And I will say that Russell 2000, even though it did lag for a little while today, if you just look at 0 RUS, the way that it really handled those 6 straight up days, right, went into a new high ground, and then it's just been kind of moving tight sideways, really not doing a whole lot wrong up here. So small caps still looking good. They lagged for a while today, but you can see it
Yeah.
had a nice little upside reversal late in the session.
Yeah, we definitely like to see that. Also, let's check in on the 10-year Treasury yield because that's something that we've seen a short-term change in trend in, along with the rally in recent sessions in equities.
Yeah, big slump for that 10-year Treasury yield last week, and maybe that had something to do with President Trump nominating his Treasury Secretary, who's a former hedge fund manager, quite knowledgeable and on top of the economy. Maybe that Trump is going to be, exercise good fiscal restraint, and maybe not carry such high deficits. So we've seen yields really back up. They tried to rally again today over that 4.2% level, but came down and closed below the 200-day moving average. So yields still look like they're under some pressure here.
Okay. And let's check in on the chip stocks. So, looking at the chip sector ETF, SMH, up 2.4% today. So, a lot of strength in chips, which kind of were on the ropes last week with SMH down at that 200-day line.
Yeah, and there was some news earlier today that the Biden administration, they're still looking at China and really making it difficult for them to, get their hands on artificial intelligence, intellectual property. So they put more restrictions in terms of exporting chips to China. So it was ironic because you had seemingly negative news, but semiconductor stocks were some of the best performers today. So SMH still on a downtrend here. We were talking about last week, how is this Nasdaq going to work if chip stocks can't participate? Still on a downtrend here, but you can see just right at the 50-day moving average. So it wouldn't take a whole lot to break SMH out of a downtrend here. But two nice up days in a row, and we'll see if SMH can get going again.
Yeah, key level right there. Okay, well, that's a great segue to the first stock that we wanted to highlight, and that is Taiwan Semiconductor, one that you featured on IBD Live this morning, Ken, closing up 5.3% on the day, getting back above some key moving averages, clearing a downtrend after breaking support last week and probably shaking some investors out, Ken.
Yeah, yeah, and if you look at the accumulation distribution rating for TSM is at a D plus, and that's hurt by some higher volume declines recently. But overall, this is a fairly reasonable pullback here. It did give up support at the 50-day moving average, but this looks like it broke out of a downtrend today. Had volume pick up the pace quite a bit from Friday's very light levels. So this is one. They're the world's largest chip foundry. They have some of the biggest names in technology as customers, and I think if you want some chip exposure here, this is certainly a Cadillac in the sector. Again, chip foundry, they design all sorts of AI chips for NVIDIA, Broadcom, Qualcomm, you name it. So nice little mini breakout today, and definitely one that I'm going to continue to watch here.
Yeah, and we don't have earnings risk here for a while, Ken. And for those initiating a trade, when you get back above the 50-day line, that's a great level to set a stop.
Yes, and we looking at recent growth here in terms of fundamentals. You've got 2 quarters in a row where earnings and revenue have really accelerated nicely. So you have growth accelerating here. Business is good at Taiwan Semiconductor. So can't sleep on this one. This is still looks like it has the potential to be a leader here.
Okay. And next on the list, you mentioned the strength in mega cap tech stocks. So let's take a look at one of the Magnificent Seven names, and that is Meta. So Mark Zuckerberg's social media giant up 3.2% on the day, also getting above some notable levels here on the chart, Ken.
Yeah, we've been really patient with this one. We put it on in the leaderboard model portfolio back on September 13th when it was initially coming out and moving above that 544.23 area. It didn't make a whole, made some progress, but then it just started moving sideways. It tried to kind of wear us out, but sideways consolidation here. Another stock like TSM, we were wondering that that break of the 50-day was just going to mean that it maybe had more basing ahead of it. But Meta, a nice move today. Very, very similar move here. It's all the way up at the top of a flat base here, 602.95 buy point. Maybe this will be a setup day. We'll watch. We'll watch and see how the stock
Mhm.
trades tomorrow. But looks like it could be on the cusp of a breakout here.
Yeah, the RS line getting back above those moving averages as well. So a compelling early entry here today. And last but not least, let's check out Waystar, a recent IPO out of the software medical sector here. And it is kind of forming a new base here, just above that 30 level. Ken, your thoughts on this recent IPO that out of the gate already has some explosive bottom line growth, it looks like.
Yeah, I think they came public at around $20, $20 a share over the summer, maybe early summer, and it's really holding nicely above the offer price here. Had a volatile reaction to earnings. I think that was early last week, where it came down pretty violently to the 21-day moving average. But so it's actually, yeah, a little bit after that. But trading has started to tighten up here, and we like new issues, companies that haven't been trading very long. This is a company that provides basically a cloud-based platform that helps these huge healthcare organizations manage all types of payments, so payment processing and the like. If we look at the weekly chart here, first of all, you've got revenue growth accelerating, which we like to see. And the weekly chart here, it's just kind of early in the new stages of a consolidation. It'll be 4 weeks after this week, but a nice little base setting up here. Relative strength line still holding up near highs, even as the stock consolidates. So I think this is one to do a little more work on. It's fairly lightly owned at this point by fund managers, but seen a nice increase in fund ownership at the end of the third quarter. So going to watch and see how this one bases out. But yeah, you pointed out that healthy relative strength line, and software continues to work pretty well here. So I think this is a name to watch as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, as always, Ken, for that spot on analysis. One more month of the year to go. Can't believe it.
It's really hard to believe. December 1st, here we are. Got
Yeah.
the holidays to get through, but you hear a lot about this Santa Claus rally, and it was pretty good November. I think the
Yeah.
Russell 2000 was up more than 10%.
Mhm.
Nasdaq, I think, was up 7-8%. So we'll see what December brings. But in a confirmed uptrend right now, I'll mention what I mentioned on IBD Live this morning, that if you own stocks in your portfolio with a nice profit, probably not getting many sell signals, as these leaders hold above short-term support levels. But if you feel like you need to take some profits, just be careful reallocating money, because a lot of the leaders have come out, and you may see stocks setting up that look like they're maybe getting ready to move, but in some cases they may be laggards in the industry group. So when you're reallocating new capital, just be careful. You're really looking at
Yeah.
high quality stocks.
Well said, Ken. Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, thanks once again.
Pleasure.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Speaking of the powerful month that we saw in the month of November, make sure you check out Monthly Market Report live at 5 p.m. Eastern today, where hedge fund manager Jim Ropel and myself will be talking all about the most important takeaways from the month of November in the market, what that means for the next month of trading as we head into this year end. What are the standout themes, the standout stocks, and how you should be positioned right here and now. So once again, join us for Monthly Market Report live today at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we will post that show along with this one, as we do every day, at investors.com/videos if you can't catch it live. So that is it for now, everyone. We'll see you then. And then we'll also see you right back here tomorrow after the close.